say to this song, respect. 1967, this song came out. Wild. It's it. All right. Welcome to the Rock Talk Show. It's good to see you all today. This is your pop culture time, and today is Monday, the 29th of April. Goodbye, April. You know what that means? Soon it's gonna be I had to do it. I'll be doing it the next 2 days. You have to do that. You gotta do it, y'all. What are we talking about today besides the fact that Aretha Franklin's 1967 hit Respect came out today? Originally, it was her version of Otis Redding's Wedding, by the way. I don't think you knew that. We're going to be talking about the Royals. We're going to be talking about words that are divisive in America and words that bring us together. I'd love your opinion on it. We're going to talk about these trending shoes that are a little bit, I don't know if they should be called shoes. A 100-year-old woman who is flying and they keep thinking that she's a baby. We'll talk about a 60-year-old beauty queen. We're going to be talking about all sorts of things. Oh, and also, what age were you when your music, like, when your music got solidified? You'd be surprised that there's a certain age, and after that age, we do not like any type of music anymore. We just like what we like. Thank you so much for the FYP. I appreciate that, Ma. Zebra. All right, so let's get rolling and going. If there's something you want to talk about, please don't hesitate to put in the chat. If you're on the TV, you're not going to hear all the things I just said, so you might want to come on over to TikTok Rock Talk Show. We're going to have it here live. All right. So first, let's kind of get started. Let's get it started. And wish the Royals a happy 13th wedding anniversary. Yes, Kate Middleton and I almost forgot to say Prince Charles, the King. They got married 13 years ago. Did you watch the royal wedding? No, I watched that wedding. That was a wedding I did not miss. Did you watch that wedding? That was like this royal, like that's when the royals were just kind of like it was a special romantic. I remember it. I remember the kiss on the. How can I remember the whole 9 yards? They had like 1,900 people at their wedding. Did you go? Were you invited? I was not invited. I did not go, but I can tell you that it was. I feel like I went. Seriously, I feel like I was there. That was like a special time when they all got along. 1,900 guests, and there were a million spectators that lined the streets of London, and an estimated 2 billion people, including myself, watched that thing on television. I'm sad to see where all things have gone with all that. It really is. By the way, I also want to mention that today in 1992 was when the LA riot started. Some of you are too young to remember this, but that is after four LAPD officers were acquitted for beating Rodney King in a traffic arrest. That was 1992 when the riots happened. Today, I remember watching that. That was a little scary. Like watching that on TV, I was like, oh, it just, for my generation, we've never seen anything like that. And then all of a sudden, we're seeing that happen in the streets of LA. Yeah. I mean, that, I think in a lot of ways, I lived in Orange County for 7 years, but that always, like, that part of LA, I still remember. Like, just that idea of LA being that way is something that I just remember. And I remember just being a little afraid. I don't know. It's interesting. 1992. The things that happen when you're in your teens really do form you in a lot of different ways. Wouldn't you agree? Okay. So since we're talking about this, here's some words. Hey, Brittany, good to see you. Thank you so much, Brittany, for the team heart. I appreciate it, my friend. Here are some words that Americans have found are divisive and words that bring us together. Which one do you want to hear first? I'll do it every other for you, okay? Words that bring us together. We'll start with this. 9 in 10 Americans across the political spectrum view these words as words that are unifying. You ready? Honesty. I got it. Good one. Responsibility. We're just doing all the positive ones right now. Freedom. Oh, must I? Football. I agree with that. Yeah, if there's a word that you think is unifying, pop it in the chat. Football. I would agree with that. Football. Heck yes. And then American National Park. Not that I think that's a divisive word. I would put that on the unifying word. Football, absolutely. I agree with that one. Okay, and here are the divisive words. Are we ready? Here they are. Number one on the list was MAGA. Second Amendment. And last but not least, billionaires. What are we qualifying this list for you? You know what? I could tell you, but I don't think I grabbed that in my notes. But they did a poll. Oh, you know, actually, you know what? I do have it. There's a picture. I can pop it in here. Well, you know, I would say anything political would be that way, honestly. Anything that is political, in my opinion, can be service. Boom. Yeah, I'm uploading it now. I have the list. What are we basing this on? Who knows? These are the words, making that nice and big. Oh, wait, this is a different one. And this is also important. So, with the presidential election coming up, these are the words that people use to describe the presidential election. I'll find the information on that, on where we're basing on. Top 10 words describe the presidential election this November. Number one was anxious. Morning, Michelle. Number two is disappointed. Number three is hopeful. Four is nervous. Five is scared. Six is excited. Seven frustrated. Eight uncertain. Nine worried, and 10 concerned. I'm curious, for those of you in the room today or you watching on the tube, what word of these 10 would you use? I mean, like, of these 10, which word would you use? I know it's kind of like a wah wah. Don't worry, we got a positive thing too. Don't you worry about it. But I am curious, when you think about the upcoming presidential election, which of these 10 words would you describe it with? Trying somewhere as you're at it, unbothered. Ooh, you added a new one. I literally don't know where this is. There you are. I'm not having it. Okay, unbothered. Unbothered. I like that. I would pick one of the 10 words. The word I would pick, and I thought the second I saw this question, was actually number two, disappointed. I just feel like like, we're just doing the same thing. We're like, isn't that the definition of insanity? We're just doing the same thing over and over again. So I'm like, I'm disappointed. This is me. Wah, 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 wah. Okay, so Brittany and Michelle have the same, unbothered, and then just don't give two F's. I think it's the same thing. I like that. And I think I'm there with you in the sense that I'm like, oh, that's disappointing. And then on to the next. Like, all right. Do y'all realize though, honestly, a good reason to be on TikTok right now is the fact that if you did turn on the news for the next 6 months, it's going to be annoying. Can we agree on that? And I am a little disappointed to see that they have agreed, unfortunately. Must I thank you for the follow. I'm following you back right now. They've actually agreed to a debate. I'm like, please, we don't need to hear y'all debate. We really don't. We really don't. All three of them are going to debate, allegedly. I'm like, I don't have time for that. Okay, I do promise I'll get you that information of where. I can't find it. You had a question on my last poll, and my last little piece of. I thought I got the picture, but I didn't. So I will work on that on the sidelines. In the meantime, let's do something a little different. I want to know if you wear these shoes. These are shoes. Uh, oh, it did. Oh my gosh, it's so smart. TikTok said learn more about the election. Oh my gosh, you're so smart, TikTok. Okay, would you wear these shoes? These are new shoes. Now you have time. They're not out yet. They're coming out in August. These are called, go with me here, loafers. They are sneakers meet loafers. They're called loafers. You might be looking at me like, Michelle said no. Brittany said no. Okay, hear me out on these shoes. Okay, these shoes, and I think they're like Adidas or someone. I can't remember who it is. Um, they're getting good reviews, y'all. Good reviews because you can wear them. The point of them, they made the snowbird. You could wear snowbirds with suits. Okay, I'm not wearing suits anytime soon. But they're like you can go from the wedding to the pickleball court. Michelle said again, no. GQ actually came out and said it as use it as a lifestyle sneaker, and they're giving it good reviews. They said it's an upgrade over Allbirds. I love me my Allbirds. Do not fight with me on Allbirds. These are not an upgrade. Um, Brittany says she wears some arguably ugly shoes, but heck no to these. So there's this like shoe craze going on right now with the loafers and all the things. But also, have you seen these? These Crocs and Pringles did a collab this month. They came out and they had Crocs, like your basic regular Croc slides that had like Pringles, like different bright colors and Pringles on them. But then they did these boots, and the reason I want to show you these boots, you see the holster? You can fit that. Yeah, it says Croctail Party. Those are Croctail Pringles with in the holster. So you have your food with you while you're walking in your Croc boots, and you can just lean down and you can get your Pringle and chomp it away. Would you wear those? I need to know. Michelle, if her granny gets asked for these, the good news is they sold out. They're all sold out. They sold out within like an hour or 30 minutes online. You can still get the slides. They're like red and green, and they have little charms of Pringles guys and things on them. But you cannot get these anymore unless you buy them on the second market, where they're going for like 120 to $150. Mm-hmm. I feel kind of like a military, like I don't know, that kind of feel. And I also feel like a Canadian Mountie because of the holster that you can actually put your Pringles in. I'm gonna tell you right now, they're going for 120 some dollars on the black market. Well, the second market, on the black market, but you could, if you Google them right now, you can find them. I think initially, I couldn't see what the price was initially, but it was, I think it was probably in the 70s, maybe, or somewhere between 20 and 70 were what they were going for. But the boots, I think, probably go for more on the 70s side. I would wear these. I would wear these as a costume. I would wear these like for a moment, like on just to show them off online, and then I would gift them to somebody. Yeah, I would wear them just like because I think it's funny as heck, right? Why not? Shoes are having a moment. Now, I think these are actually more attractive than the Snowfers that I showed you earlier. The Snowfers are going to be more serious, just so you know. If you see people wearing them, they don't come out until August. If you see people wearing them, I told you so, and you know, Michelle's like, she's doing that. Now, you can think of, I think of a silly idea, stupid idea, but said, you can. Sometimes it's just like, oh my gosh, something, you are probably judging yourself too hard and thinking, oh my gosh, that's so silly. Whereas other people would totally get the thing. You know, there's a story in the news about a woman who's 101, and get a load of this. Not only does she travel and she still flies, but she has the hardest time flying. Not because of anything like you think, but because American Airlines booking system actually cannot compute the year she was born. She was born in 1922. So whenever she actually buys the ticket online, as the kids do, it defaults to 2022. The reason this is a problem is because then when she's asking for like help, like a wheelchair, the wheelchair's never there because they think it's a baby. Sometimes they don't want to give her a full seat because they think it's a baby, a newborn baby. Is that not wild? But I think what's, she's 101, she's flying. She usually flies annually to go visit the kids, and she's also a snowbird. So when it gets cold, she flies off somewhere else. Isn't it 101? Her name is Patricia, and I just want to give her flowers. How amazing is that, right? All right, we love music in here, yes? We do. Do you know that there's a certain age where you stop like embracing new music, where you are no longer part of the mainstream when it comes to soaking up music? And there's also an age that like formulated the music you love. There's a reason why we all say, "Oh my gosh, they don't make music like that anymore," and it's usually a certain generation based on when we're born. How old do you think? Like, my first question for you is, how old were you when you like your music? You just loved music, like where you're like, "That's the time." All the stuff was good. How old would you guess that they found that age is? And as I tell you, as you write it, it's interesting because Spotify actually tries to help with it. You play the songs you like on Spotify. I use Spotify. And then every so often, if you're not on a playlist, they throw some random song in there from a different era. They're trying to actually broaden your horizon in a little way or in a lot of ways. How old do you think you were when you said, "Ugh," when you go back, like, or when you're playing music, when you just want to feel good, you want to play your music? What era of music are you like all about? For me, it's 90s, which totally tracks with my age and what they say. So your peak influence of music, they say, for women is 13, for men is 14. Yeah, that makes sense. They're all a little. But here's what's interesting. By the time we hit 31, we are locked and loaded. We're like geriatric music people. We are not willing to like really broaden our horizons of music. And what's even more interesting than that is if you're a parent, you would think, okay, that means you're open to like more music. Actually, not the case. If you're a parent, it actually slows down even faster. Must have 70s and 80s had was the best music era. I think 90s, late 80s and 90s are my fave, although 70s is great. What about the rest of you? What do you think? Isn't that interesting? Like, I go back and you'll always hear me say they do not make love songs like they did back in the day, like the songs like Freak Me, which I can't believe I walked around singing that as a little one, but I did. I mean, those songs where you didn't even realize what they're saying, but they were saying it. The Boys to Men era, all of those things, 70s, 80s, 90s. Really, because I feel like new music, but I love to listen to music from my teenagers. Yeah, and that's exactly what they're saying. Teenage years is what takes us right back. I can listen to Paula Abdul's Rush Rush on repeat. I can listen to Stay by Lisa Loeb on repeat. Put in like the Boys to Men, like Please Don't Go Away From Me. I love all that. And I think about, I can still remember the mixtape I made with all of those songs on it. Although I would be interested to know what the Taylor Swift, um, and I go with me here, impact is because clearly so many people listen to the music. Also would say I think that moms were listening to that and that was considered mainstream. But I'll give you another example. I personally, when it comes to Beyonce, I like Beyonce when she was doing things like Irreplaceable. That's like her music was hot back then. The newer stuff, I like some of it, but I don't listen to all of it. You get me? It might be unpopular, but I've never listened to all of Lemonade. It's not that I don't, but I want to go back to that era and that time. Like I'll play Irreplaceable to the left all day long every day. Good song. Yes, by the way. I will say this though, because I taught dance aerobics, I taught jazz for 15 years. I always had to be up on the music because we'd get new tracks all the time, songs before they even hit. And now that I'm taking dance aerobics again, I'm listening to all sorts of songs and people are like, oh, play this. I'm like, I don't even know what song it is. But once we start it like in class, I'm like, I love it. I wouldn't know Teddy Swims if it wasn't for literally my dance class. There's a lot of music from Chris Brown that I didn't know that I loved that we booty shake to in dance class. So I think that there's like, if you're exposed to it in certain places, do you listen to the radio anymore? I don't listen to the radio anymore. In fact, when I'm driving dance, I actually turn off the radio. I'll listen to a podcast instead. And so I wonder if you're not listening to the radio, where are you getting your music? Angsty teenage self-love, alternative pop, Avril, Fall Out Boy, Paramore. I loved Alanis. Man, you want to talk about angsty? She wasn't a teenager at that time, but oh my gosh, Jagged Little Pill, stop it. So good. This is the point in time where I start to overheat. Give me 1 second. I love that. And I love music in general, but I think there's new song. Like I don't listen to what's the little one who had the car song and she was sad. Olivia Rodrigo. I don't listen to her. But I do listen to Sabrina Carpenter because I used to watch Girl Meets World and she was on it, so I'm like rooting for her. And then her songs when we were in Boston in November, we listened to the radio. The radio was on, and I'm that song. One of her songs was on over and over again. Nonsense. I'm like, who is this? And I'm like, oh, it's Sabrina Carpenter. But if you aren't trying, or if you not even not trying, if you're just like, oh, I want to listen to something, we revert back to the things that we love from our like 13, 16. Those were the times, man. Do you remember? I went to go see Michael Jackson's, what is that musical? Is it MJ? I don't remember what it's called. But I just saw the music like came through town. And I'd forgotten how many good songs that he had. I mean, I knew he did, but how many good songs that I loved. I was like, oh my, that were just really make that change when you like, that's a really good song. Or the one that's like, reaching out across the distance. Like the words to the, I, I was like, why, human nature? These are good songs. Again, I'm talking about songs when I was young, so maybe that's part of it. But I feel that deeply. I don't know. All right, Tube, I'm saying goodbye to you. We've been here for a little while. If you want to keep the conversation going, come on over to the talk. The water's warm. You like it. Rock Talk Show. I'll see you later. All right, you are my friends here on